out to California for a weekend series against the Oakland A's. Corey Kluber headed to the Indians dugout, 11-3 on the year with an ERA just a shade over 2. And Carlos Martinez going for St. Louis. He of the great talent, but injuries have derailed his season to this point. We'll see what kind of condition, what kind of shape he's in here tonight. That could be a very interesting matchup, especially after what happened last night with John Gant really shutting down the Indians lineup. Let's go downstairs right now to Andre Knott.
Thank you very much, Matt. Yes, there's a lot of interesting eyes to this game. For the St. Louis side, they all want to see what Corey Kluber is about. Obviously, we've talked all evening about the 18 strikeout game that he had against the Cardinals back in Cleveland a few years back. But on the other side, I know there's some Indians players and coaches as well.
Tito.
Guess who that?
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know. And I know what that was, and it's going to be sticky later. But Carlos Martinez is a guy that a lot of people hear about and a lot of people have seen, but now they want to see him up close and personal. So Tito, as he walks away from me, go away. Nice new shoes. But they want to look at him because of his arm. He's got a fantastic arm. Gets it up to 97 miles an hour. Great change. Great curve. And, yeah, it's going to be one of those type of days here. Electric arm, but doesn't keep it in the strike zone. So the job for the hitters of the Indians tonight, make him come in the strike zone, and when he does, attack.
Nobody's heard a word you've said for the last 30 seconds, by the way.
Mama, I didn't. Academy Award, no, will.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got our rain delay format down for the 2 days starting this road trip, don't we?
Uncle, right, with the rain.
You talk about boredom, that goes to show you right there. Let's play baseball, please.
Yeah, I think everybody's clawing at the door waiting to get out. And look at it, he's eyeing them up.
Yeah, and I mean, they're bored. They've been sitting around for the last 2 days. And that, that if you're Andre, you want to be at the other end of the dugout, not that end. But
oh man, poor guy.
Well, it's all done, and we're getting ready for some baseball. So there's Martinez. You're right. He's going to be making his 5th start, Matt, since coming off the disable list. He had a right lat strain and missed some time, and they haven't won a ball game since he's returned to the starting rotation. So they're hoping that he can get on track tonight.
Take a look at our keys to the game, or our storylines, if you will, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. And in his last 5 starts, Carlos Martinez an ERA of just over 7. Yonder Alonso 4 for 9 against the right-hander with a double. He brings a lot of energy to the mound. Almost like an everyday player who happens to be a pitcher.
Yeah, well, he's got a terrific arm, but he's very, let's say effectively wild. He's hit 10 guys. He's second in the league in walks. He's walked 42 guys, and he's going to be our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher. So you're going to have to get him into the strike zone. I don't think you want to be aggressive with him, but, he hasn't won, so I guess patience is going to have to pay. He missed 23 games on the 10-day DL with, as I told you, a right lat strain. First time he has ever faced the Indians, so this is going to be all new for him. So we'll see what he has to offer.
For the Indians and Terry Francona, the starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Tonight he has Lindor at the top, Brantley batting second, Ramirez hits third. That part is normal. Where it changes is without the use of the DH. He's got to decide between Alonso and Encarnacion. So Yonder gets the start tonight at first base and will hit cleanup. Lonnie Chisnall is going to hit 5th, then Jason Kipnis, followed by Yan Gomes, Tyler Naquin, and the pitcher Corey Kluber will bat 9th.
Set the defense for the Cardinals behind Martinez tonight. It's going to be Ozuna in left. Pham gets the start in center, and it's Bader over in right. On the infield, Carpenter at third, Munoz at short, Wong at second, Martinez at first, Molina doing the catching.
Chris Guccione will call the balls and strikes. The crew chief, Larry Vanover, is at first base. David Rackley at second, Hunter Wendelstedt at third. And we're ready to go as Francisco Lindor steps in for Cleveland.
We're about 5 minutes later than we were yesterday starting the ball game, weren't we? Then we started at 8:35 yesterday, I believe.
I know it was a 1 hour and 20-minute delay.
21,
so would
yeah.
that be?
That's about right.
Yep.
It was 8:35, so we're 5 minutes later.
Lindor was 0 for 4 last night. And a first pitch fastball in there for a strike. High fastball.
This is Martinez's third interleague start of 2018. He started against the White Sox and against the Minnesota Twins.
And he changes speeds, gets ahead of Lindor, 1-2. Hit off the plate. That'll even the count.
Matter of fact, that start against the White Sox came May 2nd. And that's the last time he won a ball game, where he went 7 1/3 innings, gave up 5 hits, just the 1 run. Here we go. Already a full count.
Well, he got ahead of him, Rick, and then it seems like he didn't want to challenge him. He wanted to see if he could fool him, and he's missed badly.
Yeah, yep. Well, a lot of off-speed pitches to this lineup last night.
And he plugs that fastball right back up the middle.
Well, he challenged him. He got the fastball, and you see what happened to it. He wanted Molina wanted him to hit with a couple of his off-speed pitches. Didn't happen. Gant was very good, but he comes in 3-2. He wasn't going to walk him, and Frankie makes him pay. Base hit right back up the middle. Already off to a good start. They have as many hits now as they had in 7 innings last night.
Officially, the rain delay 1 hour and 26 minutes. So you're right, just 5 minutes difference from last night.
Set your watch to it.
And Michael Brantley steps in with Lindor aboard. Isn't that something, though? I mean, last night the Indians had 1 hit in 7 innings.
Right.
And Lindor leads off the game with a single here tonight. Brantley was 0 for 2 last night. He did draw a pair of walks. Up and away.
The Indians ended up yesterday's ball game with 4 hits, but they walked 6 times. They had their base runners. They just didn't do much. Second time they were shut out this year.
And that's in the dirt. 2-0.
Ouch.
Off of Brantley's foot.
Boy, that was a thud.
Sure was.
He's got protection on there, the shin and the foot. It goes. It looked like it went off the toe. Somewhere where you can't have protection. Never seems to fail.
Another throw to first. And Jose Martinez able to corral that throw from Carlos Martinez. And Michael pulls that foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. St. Louis defends Brantley with a straight up defensive alignment, no shifting. Cardinal skipper Mike Matheny 2-2. And off the plate, and now a full count.
He's having a tough time commanding that baseball. He's missed a lot on the first two left-handed hitters, way in off the plate.
And now he's walked Brantley, so the Indians have their first two aboard to start the game. Basically, when it comes down to Carlos Martinez, it's this simple. The Cardinals know he has great talent, he has great ability. The task is improving his efficiency to get him deeper into games. Mike Matheny has said, look, I have never seen a lack of confidence from this kid, no matter what the situation. So that part is all good. But sometimes it's like breaking a young colt to get him.
You have to reel it in.
Yeah.
And you know, calm him down. Like you said, he's like an everyday player in a pitcher's body.
And sometimes that's not a good combination.
No, that's true.
Jose Ramirez jumps on that first fastball and pulls it foul.
Well, they always say, pitchers will always tell you, I'm pitching against the team. I'm not pitching against the other pitcher. But when you're matched up against Kluber, you know you've got to go out there and put zeros on the board early. And the Indians right now have an opportunity to do some damage in the first.
This one could have been called a strike. It was borderline, but just a bit low. And that's pulled foul.
No, but if you can keep that pitch that he just made there all night long or consistently, you may end up getting a couple of those called strikes as the night goes on. But the key is consistently making those pitches.
Now the 1-2 and off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A fastball that was just in off the plate. He feels like he's getting squeezed. But as you pointed out, this is a case of when you're not consistently hitting spots, it's hard to get borderline calls.
It's a good pitch, but it was inside. It is a good pitch, but he's going to have to continue to make those. Can't start nibbling.
And Ramirez fouls off a good pitch.
Good pitch. That pitch would have hit him if he didn't foul it off. It looked like it was in. We've seen Jose swing at a couple of pitches. Almost hit him in the leg, and he did swing one time where the ball hit him in the leg. But how he gets the bat to the ball when it's that close is beyond me.
Lifted to center. Tommy Pham will make the catch. Lindor will tag. He'll try to get to third, and he will. And so he's 90 feet away with 1 out here in the first. And we'll go down to Andre Knott.
Last night for Yonder Alonso, he did not play because there was no DH, but he was very close to coming into the game in the 9th inning. And if he came up, most likely the bases would be loaded. If you remember last game back home, he had a big grand slam. He told me last night, he said if he would have got up, he felt another one on the way last night. Just says he feels good at in the box right now, loves seeing the ball in this ballpark, and was ready to go tonight. He's been itching to get out here. He's one of the guys that sat in the dugout for about 45 minutes waiting for the rain to stop. He's just excited about this road trip and playing here and then going out to Oakland where he was last season.
Well, he's got an opportunity to get the Indians on the board first here tonight.
And a guy, he's the only guy that has any numbers off Martinez. 4 for 9. And 18 games in this ballpark, pretty good numbers.
Bounce to first. It's a foul ball, says Larry Vanover, the crew chief, right on top of it at first base.
Close. Very, very close. And I mean, what you do, you just catch that ball. You don't know if it's fair or foul. Look at, he never even moved off first base, but he does have to reach over, so you can see where it was foul. See where the right hand reached over to catch it as he was leaning back toward first base, and Vanover had a very good look at it.
Lindor is at third with 1 out. And again, Alonso pulls it foul.
Having to work very hard in this first inning for Carlos Martinez.
22 pitches already, 12 strikes.
They want to go in with a heater. Off the dish.
Then he missed in the middle, but it was elevated enough to where Alonso couldn't really do much with it, but foul it back. Last year in a game in April, Carlos Martinez joined Wild Bill Hallahan as the only Cardinals pitchers ever to strike out 11 and walk 8 in the same game.
That's like a minor league game.
Hallahan did it back in 1930. The 0-2 on its way. And he pops him up.
Going to get it out here.
Yadier Molina to the screen, makes the catch. 2 down.
It had a chance to get out, but no. Molina goes right back to the screen. It stays in play, and that is out number 2.
And now Martinez with a chance to get out of it. Lonnie Chisenhall will be the batter. He's 0 for 3 last night. He had a couple of balls well, hit him to deep right field, but could do no damage with either. Line towards center field. It's dropping. It's going to get down, and the Indians will score first as Lindor comes home from third. Brantley stops at second, and Lonnie Chisenhall has his 5th run batted in on the year.
Well, that turned out to be a thing of beauty right there. Didn't get much of it, but got enough of it not to get out to the outfielders. It bloops in, but a 2-out base hit. The Indians on the board. Chisenhall gets a 2-out base hit. You gotta love it. Let's see Martinez on the mound. He thinks he's out of it. Oh, I can't believe it. Had a chance, but no siree.
Jason Kipnis now with 2 on and 2 out. And he hits a line drive, base hit into right field. Bader up with it. Brantley headed home. Here's the throw, not in time, and the Indians lead is 2-0. On their 3rd hit of the inning. back-to-back two-out RBI singles.
Well, Kipnis drops the barrel head of the bat right on the baseball, and he smokes this ball. Nice job of hitting here. So they get that first one. It's down and in. He likes it there and lines it into right field. Brantley comes around to score, so a pair of two-out singles gives the Indians a 2-0 lead. And they're still trying to get out of the first. This is absolutely the way they wanted to start out tonight's ball game.
Now Yan Gomes. Yan was 1 for 3 last night. He had the Indians' only hit through 7 innings. And it was a ground ball that hit the bag at third. And that just kind of tells you how good John Gant was last night at keeping the Indians off balance. They really didn't hit many balls hard. He did walk a few, so they had some guys on base that had a couple of opportunities, but they were tied up in knots. Different story so far here tonight, and we're only 7 batters into the game. Pitch number 30 now by Martinez, but he's throwing a lot more strikes. Got Gomes to expand his zone. It's 1-2. Tied him up with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and strikes him out. But not before the Indians strike for 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 2. And now the Cardinals are coming to bat against Corey Kluber.
This year, he's the Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. It'll make his 2nd career start against the Cardinals. We all know what he did in his first one. Went 8 innings, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 18 Cardinals. So he'll get another chance. Owns a 13-5 mark in 21 interleague starts.
Matt Carpenter will lead it off for Mike Matheny and the Cardinals. Tommy Pham, then Jose Martinez. Marcell Ozuna had a good night last night. He's in the cleanup spot, followed by Yadier Molina and then Jairo Munoz. Harrison Bader, Colton Wong, the pitcher, Carlos Martinez batting 9th. Matt Carpenter was 3 for 4 last night with a double and a run scored. And as you pointed out right away, he likes the ball down.
Yes, he does.
I hate to call him a typical left-hander, but man, he likes to golf the baseball.
Well, his first double that he got, it was a 3-1 count, and, you know, Clef challenged him, but he rocketed it off the wall. So he likes the ball, and he can hit a fastball very well.
Waved at that one, and it's 1-2.
Little breaking ball already. And you can tell with a swing like that, and this guy's swinging the bat very well right now. With a swing like that, you can't pick up the spin. You can tell. Now they haven't faced Kluber but one time, and it was 3 years ago. But
high fly ball, deep right field. Back is Lonnie at the wall. He leaps up, and it's gone.
A breaking ball, and it was down, and it looked like Chisenhall might have jammed himself into the wall when he got back there. He jumped into it, and I don't know if he was able to get over. We'll have to see it again.
I think he had a shot at it. He had leather on it.
Let's see. He gets back, and now he's going to go up. Does he hit the wall? That went off his glove. He saw it go in there. I think he jumped into the fence, and that ball went off the end of his glove. And he was surprised. Well, it's a home run. Carpenter hits his 14th. One more look.
Yeah, it just needed another half step back, maybe.
So the Cards respond quickly.
Out of play. Tommy Pham is mired in what you would call a slump. He is 0 for his last 15. And it's kind of funny how those things work, but they do tend to happen in baseball. He had a career high 13-game hitting streak snapped on June 20th. And then what happens? Poof.
Yeah. And he's had some eye issues this year, and that has bothered him. That's why he wasn't playing for a while.
For Matt Carpenter, the 18th time he has led off a game with a home run. Two, and he went too far and strikes out. One down. I would imagine that you're seeing more leadoff hitters in the mold of a Carpenter and a Lindor, guys who have that kind of power, because it's easier to find probably guys who can do that than it is to find guys who are fast and can hit.
Yeah, I mean that's gone by the wayside. Now you put your best hitter, it seems like, in the number 2 hole, but guys that can get on base, they can walk, but they can also drive the ball and get some extra base hits. And if they can drive it out of the ballpark, they have a chance of giving you a 1-run lead early.
Jose Martinez. We mentioned this last night, but for those of you not with us for the series opener, Jose Martinez, the son of one-time Indians outfielder Carlos Cafe Martinez.
Cafe. And what do they call him?
Cafecito. Cafecito.
Cafecito. That's right. Very similar, you know, body and everything to his dad.
Yeah, that lanky frame. And a lot of bat movement, but boy, he knows what to do with it. Batting right around 300.
Good job there of just staying on the baseball and taking it the other way. Let's take a look at the Indians defense, which is brought to you by Dodge. Brantley in left, Naquin is in center, Chisenhall in right. On the infield, Ramirez at third, Lindor at short, Kip is at second, Alonso is at first, with Gomes doing the catching.
Now Marcell Ozuna. Mike Matheny says that usually when you get a new player, it takes a while for you to kind of warm up to the guy or for him to warm up to you. He said, not with Ozuna. He's one of those high energy, big personality guys. He said he's hugging you from the first day he walks into the room.
A big teddy bear, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he can swing the bat.
And there's a reason for that, too, I found out. When he was 8 years old, growing up in the Dominican, he fell in love watching baseball on TV because of Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah.
Watching him swing and hit everything in sight.
What a great role model, huh?
Yeah, that was his hero. He said, that's my hero. Swung on and missed. The Cardinals, I didn't realize this, but the Cardinals were really hot after Giancarlo Stanton. That's the guy they had sort of targeted, who they wanted. But I guess he wasn't interested in.
They wanted the big bopper.
A trade to come here. Swung on and missed. Ozuna goes down. But this guy has been a very good fit for the Cardinals.
And he will be. Breaking ball here from Klub. Down into the dirt. He gets his second strikeout here.
Now Yadier Molina. It was funny when we were looking at the video of those 18 strikeouts that Corey Kluber had against the Cardinals a couple years ago. There was one at bat where he struck out Molina. Molina was looking at him like, what the heck?
Yeah, what was that? Well, they already have more hits in the first inning than they did in that last game in 8 innings. Kluber pitched a one-hitter in that ball game. He's already given up 2 here in the first.
Fly ball, left center, but a lot of air under it. And Michael Brantley runs it down. I wasn't sure if he was going to ever get there, but he glides through the catch. Cardinals get a run back. It's 2-1 after 1 in St. Louis.
RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. Indians fans in the house.
Quite a few, in fact.
Yeah, they have some Indian sponsors on hand.
When Andre and I were walking in today, we ran into some folks from back in Cleveland, and they want to send out happy anniversary wishes to Sam and Kathy Palumbo, celebrating their wedding anniversary in Highland Heights.
Island Heights.
64th wedding anniversary. And Sam Palumbo played
my
for
neighbor.
Played for the Browns back in the old days.
Okay, nice. Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Tyler Naquin leading off for the Indians here in the second, a swing and a miss. He went 0 for 4 last night. Naquin, then Corey Kluber, and Frankie Lindor here in the second. A little low, 1-1. Out of play. Pass ball, and Martinez thought it was strike 3. Molina thought it was strike 3. But home plate umpire Chris Guccione did not.
Well, let's take a look at it. They felt they had a couple. A little bit off the plate. It's running away.
That one got him swinging. Second K for Martinez. Back in the first inning, the Indians grabbed the lead. First on this Lonnie Chisenhall, Texas leaguer.
Yeah, that's perfectly placed. That's 73 miles an hour, but it drove home a run, and now Kipnis drops the barrel head of the bat. And he did hit it hard, up over 100, 103 miles an hour, and it does the same thing. Drives in a run. 30-mile-an-hour difference. The results are the same.
As Wee Willie Killer once said, hit them where they ain't.
Yes.
Corey Kluber takes 2 quick strikes. And that didn't take long. 3 in a row struck out by Martinez. 2 down in the inning. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Indians home and road. It's not exactly Jekyll and Hyde, but there's definitely a difference.
Boy, I'll say. Look at the runners in scoring position. That's why there's 2 runs difference per game. The ERA is higher at home, but the record is much better as well.
Lindor singled and scored in the first.
Nice little change of pace there.
Fly ball to left, a routine play. Ozuna makes the catch. Carlos Martinez cruises through inning number 2, 2-1 Cleveland. Bader's due up for St. Louis, down to Andre.
As we know, there's no crying in baseball, but just a difference that happens in National League parks with pitchers. Because Corey Kluber was hitting second in the last inning, he ran in, he tried to look at video real quick because he didn't like where he was landing. So before he went out to bat, he went to Carl Willis to kind of tell him what was going on. Then he had to go up and hit, so he never really got a chance to go over exactly what his problem was. But it tells you all you need to know about Kluber. He was the first one back on the field, and he was the one telling the pitching coach what he didn't like.
Well, yeah, trying to make that adjustment to a mound, but you see, he would have been able to correct it had he not had to go up to home plate and hit.
Jairo Munoz from the Dominican Republic. Came to the Cardinals from Oakland in an off-season trade this past year. Cardinals traded Stephen Piscotty to the A's for Munoz and Max Schrock. Now the 1-2. A little bit high. Line drive, base hit, right field. Chisenhall cuts it off, but Munoz is aboard with a leadoff single.
Well, check it out. It's upstairs. The last two fastballs he's thrown were upstairs, and that makes it a little bit easier to go the other way. Munoz did a nice job of staying on that baseball. Remember, Jose Martinez hit one that way as well. So their approach right now, that first time through, has been pretty good. And Corey's going to have to make that adjustment and find that landing spot so he can get the ball down.
Up high, ball one. Not to offer this as an excuse, but I did find it interesting when Andre talked to Cody Allen before the game, and Cody said when you come to a park that you don't visit regularly, he likes to go out, just kind of visit the mound.
Yeah.
Get up on top and just kind of get some perspective. The 1-0, because sometimes he said you stand out there and it feels like you're pitching from second base, and other times you get up there and you feel like you're right on top of the hitter. It just depends on the backdrop and how the eye perceives everything.
Right. Well, right now it's not perceiving very good for Corey because he's upstairs with everything.
Harrison Bader didn't mean to, but fouls it off. 2-1. Chasing Munoz back to first.
Well, they figure it's a decent count to start a runner here. 2-1. You're heading to the bottom part. You're trying to maybe, first and third him for a while, or make something happen here, because he's going to be around the plate, so he's a good guy to hit and run on if the hitter can make contact. That's the key to hit and run, where you're seeing less and less of it nowadays with the way these guys are swinging, and you swing through the pitches.
And if I'm Mike Matheny, it's hard to put a hit and run on when you've got a guy who makes hitters swing and miss like Corey Kluber does.
Yes, it is, unless you trust that guy in the batter's box with the bat.
Missed outside.
Yeah, this is his command right now. He's searching. He is still searching for it.
The 3-2 is a little low. So a very un-Corey Kluber-like walk. And the first 2 Cardinals aboard to start the second.
4 out of the first 7 have reached. That is a rarity.
It's only the 13th walk issued by Kluber in 100 and almost 13 innings of work. 112 and 2/3 innings to be exact. Well, here's Colton Wong with the pitcher on deck. Ground ball, and it ties up Alonso. Kipnis gets it, but by the time Kluber's there, the runner beats it out and plows over Larry Vanover.
They might have had a chance if Kipnis could have thrown the ball there. He flipped it over there. And Kluber was hustling. He was there. It goes off of Alonso's glove.
Bader may have shielded Alonso.
Could have. But Kipnis got to the ball, but you see he flips it and it had really nothing on it. Yeah, he did. You're exactly right. He blocked him out. But there's the flip and no chance there. It would have been a tough play anyway. And then there's Vanover in the way. So now they have bases loaded. And nobody out.
Another generous hit awarded to the Cardinals. The bases are loaded, nobody out. Carlos Martinez, who is a good hitting pitcher at the plate. He has 5 hits on the year. Wow. 1-1. Munoz, the tying run at third base. And Carlos Martinez turning it loose. And it's 1-1.
Well, he's the pitcher. Go ahead and turn it loose. But this is the first time this year, Matt, that Kluber has had the bases loaded.
First time
Yep.
all year.
Yep. 17th start. Gotta let it go. Let it go.
And it's a foul ball.
That's the only chance. They didn't have a play anywhere. But you can see it just trickled to the foul side of that line. And that was almost perfect. It almost stopped. If it had been on the grass, he would have been in trouble. But once it got onto the dirt, you could see it just trickling. Foul. Pick it up. Okay, so now he's got 2 strikes and he has a chance for a strikeout here.
What he could really use is a weak comebacker. Driven to center. And the Cardinals tie the game. How about that? The pitcher, Carlos Martinez, with a sac fly, his 3rd RBI on the year. It's a 2-2 game.
Well, he helped his own cause.
It'll bring up Matt Carpenter, who homered to lead off the bottom of the first, just clearing the glove of Lonnie Chisenhall above the fence in right field. And the count now, 0-2. This was Carpenter leading off the bottom of the first.
That was a cutter. That Kluber threw on that pitch off the end of the glove of Chisenhall, and it went over the fence. He had a swing at a curveball the pitch before that cutter and really looked terrible on it, but he came back with a cutter and he hit that one and got him on the board.
High fastball, and it's 1-2. .25 out of 39 pitches strikes so far for Kluber.
But here's a guy that averages under 15 pitches per inning.
Full count. Tommy Pham waiting on deck. Carpenter stays alive, spoiling a pretty good fastball. Harrison Bader, the go-ahead run at second base. Colton Wong is at first. And the 3-2 ripped to right. Lonnie can't get it. He'll play it on a hop. They're going to wave home. Bader, and the throw is up the line, and the Cardinals take the lead.
Cut fastball here by Corey right there. Good pitch to hit, and his control is not out with him tonight to this point. Chisenhall tried to get it in as quickly as possible. Bader, you know, sort of froze because he thought Chisenhall might have a chance to catch it. But already 5 hits for the Cardinals. This is something you rarely ever see against Corey Kluber, where you can string together some hits, but St. Louis has done it to this point. They take a 3-2 lead. Carpenter drives in his second. Carl Willis out talking to Kluber.
Dan Otero is already getting loose in the bullpen. 43 pitches for the Indians right-hander, and only 1 out in the inning. Foul third base side. Center field, Tyler Naquin making the catch, tagging, and headed to third is Colton Wong. And there are 2 down in the inning. Normally, Corey Kluber is the master of movement and keeping hitters from being able to square it up. But the Cardinals have been getting some pretty good swings against him in the early going. He did strike out a pair in that first inning.
Yeah, but his spots that he normally hits, he's not making. He's been elevated in the strike zone. They have had some very good swings. You know, the swings and misses not there like normal. He's having trouble with that landing spot. I don't know if he has come up with anything, but he is struggling to throw strikes for him.
Well, we barely had time to cover it, but the point that Andre was making at the start of the inning, there may be a little more something to it. He was going in to try and look at video and see maybe what the issue was, but he had to bat, and by the time he came back, 1, 2, 3, he's right back there out there on the field. Maybe with anybody else you'd say, oh, come on, that's just making an excuse. When a guy's been as good as Kluber has been, there may be a little something more to it. High drive, deep left, back is Brantley. Goodbye. A 5-run second inning for St. Louis. And the Cardinals' lead is now 6-2.
Where Gomes is sitting on this pitch, watch where it ends up. See, he wanted to go inside and it just stayed. It's not the movement he's used to having, and he pays the price. A 3-run home run that is going to end Corey Kluber's night. So St. Louis does some damage to the big guy.
Wow. His shortest outing of the year. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. And we will be right back. Corey Kluber's career. An inning and 2/3, 6 runs on 6 hits, a walk and 2 strikeouts. And now Dan Otero with the Cardinals leading it now 6-2.
Yeah, it started out in command issues for Corey tonight.
if we sound stunned, it's because every pitcher goes through this. Every pitcher has a bad outing. You have a day where you just don't have. It's just he never does.
No, he spoils you. He makes things look so easy. Then when something like this happens, you're thinking, what's wrong? There's something wrong. Yeah, well, you know what? He was a human tonight. He made some mistakes. They took advantage of it. They hit the ball. They were very aggressive. He didn't have the movement he normally does. He didn't get the swings and misses.
Ground ball chopped to third. Jose Ramirez throws it out. The good news is still a lot of baseball left here tonight in St. Louis. Indians down 4. Where they were when they learned that Corey Kluber was in fact not a robot.
Well, you're going to see some of the locations. There it was a cutter right there that was in. It was up. They took it the other way. Good job. And you're seeing he's middle of the plate and upstairs, which normally he never is. And he missed his spots. That was the knockout punch right there, the 3-run home run by Martinez. And the shortest start of Corey Kluber's career. And you get to see why, some of those pitches.
For the Indians here in the third, Michael Brantley, Jose Ramirez, and Yonder Alonso. And Carlos Martinez going to work with a 4-run lead now.
Yeah, he was struggling in the first, and the Indians got him for 2. But boy, he feels like a new man out there.
And Michael Brantley promptly strikes one right back up the middle. Jose Ramirez, 23 home runs. Second most in all of the majors before the All-Star break. Brady Sizemore had 23 back in 08. We still have a ways to go before the All-Star break.
We sure do.
He's reached safely in 32 straight.
Well, we'll see if the Indians offense has a little fight in them tonight. Because we're at that juncture again now. It's time where the bullpen has to put up some zeros and give the offense some time to catch up.
Foul ball at the first base side. Nothing into the count. Ramirez, when he gets down on the count, it's not like it's a big deal for him.
Well, he's like Michael Brantley. They have good eyes. They're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
And he has the ability, so does Brantley, but maybe even more so, to spoil really bad,
off.
I mean, tough pitches.
Yeah, he sure does.
And a chopper foul. During the rain delay, we flashed back to the game earlier this year in which the Indians were down 8. I'm sorry, they were down 5 to Houston. They're down 8-3 going into their last at bat, bottom of the ninth. And Jose Ramirez started that inning off with a 17 pitch at bat.
Yes.
And he drives this one to center field. Tommy Pham makes the catch, 1 away.
Well, grab some friends and enjoy a cold one while catching a game at Progressive Field. It's the $15 district ticket. It's presented by Pastime, Ohio. You'll get a standing room only ticket to the park, and the first drink is on us. They're going fast. You can only get them online.
One on, one out. Yonder Alonso to the plate. If you're just tuning in, we were delayed 1 hour and 26 minutes at the start by heavy rain for the second night in a row here in St. Louis. Indians got on the board first with 2 in the top half of inning 1, but since then it's been all Cardinals. They've scored 6 unanswered, knocking Corey Kluber out of the game, the shortest start of his career. An inning and 2/3. And so now it's up to the bullpen and the offense to try and claw their way back in it. The good news, if you're looking for that, is that Carlos Martinez is still working his way back into shape as a starter. He hasn't been good of late, and he's already over 50 pitches on the night, and we're only in the 3rd inning.
Well, and he'll walk people, you know, as well as give up some hits. So yes, there's got to be a lot of fight left in this tribe. They haven't won a game since he's returned from the DL. They've lost his last 5 starts. So you got to go back to May 2nd.
High fly ball right down the line, but it's going to hook foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out here, top of the 3rd. The 2-2, and a line drive single into right field for Yonder Alonso. So that's now 5 hits in the game for the Indians.
He hit that one right on the nose. I mean, a vicious line drive, so he continues to hit Martinez very well. So there you go. You've got 2 runners aboard, and watch this swing. Down. He went down and hit it beautifully. Line shot over the outreach glove of Wong into right field.
Now Lonnie Chisenhall pops one foul, and that'll go out of play.
Chisenhall, a 2-out base hit to drive home the first run in inning number 1. It was a flare to left center field. It fell. Kept the inning going. Base hit here would be beautiful. Like a little changeup. So now down in the count 0-2.
The 2-strike offering is way outside. And that's up high, 2-2. And you're kind of hopefully getting the picture as to what we were alluding to with Martinez. And a foul back.
Just barely got a piece of that ball.
Indians sent 7 men to the plate in the first inning, scoring 2 runs. They worked a 1-2-3 second inning. But the Indians are forcing the issue here in the third now. The 2-2 outside and a full count.
You'll see why he has a tough time going deep into ball games with the number of pitches that he throws early in a game. So now an action pitch here. First and second, 3-2, just 1 out.
And another foul. Struck him out. So Carlos Martinez, after a long battle with Chisenhall, gets the strikeout, and now he's 1 pitch from getting out of the inning.
Well, he went right there with a fastball. Challenged him with a 93 and throws it by him. Strikeout number 4.
And it will bring up Jason Kipnis, who lined an RBI single to right field in the first inning. And that's low, ball 1. Michael Brantley led off the inning with a single to center. He's at second base. Yonder Alonso with a sharp line drive to right field is at first base. And out in front of it, 1-1.
Josh Tomlin.
Now the 1-1. Oh, kind of caught him in between, and now Martinez is ahead 1-2.
He cuts one inside. That started out a ball and continued to run inside. So a 1-2 count now.
Carlos Martinez ready. The 1-2 is hit in the air to left, but Ozuna camps under it, makes the catch. Indians strand a pair, middle of the third, 6-2 St. Louis.
Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Rewards code is Lindor. Visit Indians.com for complete details.
Dan Otero stays on to pitch the bottom of the third. Yadier Molina, Jairo Munoz, and Harrison Bader due for the Cardinals. And Yadier Molina takes a called strike. Boy, in Detroit, the Tigers bullpen has really fallen on hard times. Last night, Detroit had a 3-1 lead going into the 8th inning. They gave up 3 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th to lose 5-4. Tonight, Detroit jumped out to a 6-0 lead against Oakland. And the bullpen has just given up 2 runs in the 9th, and Oakland has gone ahead 9-7.
Oh my goodness.
Lindor waits back on it, takes his time, makes a good throw. 1 away. Injury report tonight brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Gary Sanchez for the Yankees is on the DL with a groin injury. Brian Shaw dealing with a right calf problem, and Stephen Wright, the Red Sox knuckleballer, has a left knee injury. Brian Shaw signed for big money in Colorado as the Rockies went out and spent a lot of money to revamp their bullpen. But Rick, it has not worked out the way they envisioned it.
No, it has not.
And you know, I was talking to Andre about this the other day. It kind of reminded me, and I understand what Colorado was trying to do in the offseason. It made perfect sense to everybody that was watching, going, wow, that's really bolstering your bullpen. But I started to think back, Denny Nagel, Mike Hampton, when they tried to go the free agent route and revamp their starting rotation, and it didn't work because pitching out there is a different animal.
Now, what makes it? Are you sure it's just out there? Have they been just bad at home and they've been good on the road?
And I didn't mean it like that, because Sandy Alomar told me this years ago, and it's something that I don't know how many people have really explored into it, but it's not just the times you're in Denver, but the traveling to and from. He said it takes a lot out of you. When you play at the high altitude, it's one thing, but even when you go on a road trip, it takes you 3 or 4 days to sort of, okay, now I feel normal, and just about the time you start to feel normal, you're going right back. So it's not easy.
I don't know if there is a formula for that place.
Well, and Matt's right. It's not easy. And in talking to Brian Shaw over the last few weeks, he told me, laughing, he said, they used me more here than they did, and Tito did. And he was laughing, saying it feels like they're using him more. He wasn't making excuses, but it plays to what Matt said. He said he and Wade Davis are kind of figuring out what is it like when you're in Denver to pitch, what's it going to be like on the road. And now they've got everyone in Colorado asking, you know, do they need to spend more money? How do they fix this thing where you have pitchers that have gotten all this money? They're saying, how do we figure out pitching here?
Well, they're going to have to figure it out.
Munoz fouled that right off his top of his footer on the ankle.
Well, Otero can make you do that as a right-handed hitter.
Can he ever?
And Rick and Matt, it's bad enough in Colorado that their manager has called Tito to ask, hey, what should we do with Brian Shaw? What exactly, do you see, or what do you think? And Tito was real simple about it. He goes, keep pitching him. Because that's usually how he finds his groove. He goes, you got to keep faith in him. And he said the only thing that threw him off was he threw really well in spring training. And if you guys know anything about Brian Shaw, he never pitched good in spring training.
That's true.
Yeah, look, it's part of our conversation that we had earlier during the rain delay. Free agency is sometimes a mystery. You can go out and look and target guys and get them signed, and everybody's all, you won the offseason, and then for whatever reason, it doesn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And Sometimes you make a move, nobody talks about it at all, and then in August you're going, boy, that was a great move in the offseason, but nobody talked about it back then.
Bullpens are sensitive. They can be. Players, pitchers coming out of bullpens. We know that. But you never know from year to year. And, you know, there's no guarantee, because this Brian Shaw did it for 4 or 5 straight years here, that he's going to be the same guy going somewhere else. Totally different environment, situations. That's just one guy. But yeah, I mean, look at a lot of the guys, those bullpen guys. And what's the #1 thing everybody wants now? Bullpen help. So, you know, anybody and everybody could be on the market.
Jairo Munoz ready to continue.
Well, that one had to hurt. It's taken him quite a while. It looks like he doesn't want to get in there and hit. He's going to throw in the same spot. He'll be sensitive running down the first baseline.
Yeah, you can tell it looks like he's still maybe having trouble putting full weight on that foot.
He is. He's out front. He's going to do it again. That one, I think, it bounced back up and hit him in the gut.
Really, don't beat yourself up over it.
No kidding. This is the 3rd ball that he's fouled off. It comes right back.
A little rib shot.
A little oblique. He'll be in an ice tub after tonight.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat, and another foul.
He's still trying to walk it off in between this pitch. We'll see. I don't know if he'll end up staying in the game.
I'm telling you, it surprises me that more guys don't suffer more injuries fouling balls off their shins, their ankles.
This is becoming comical. It really is.
I mean, you remember a couple years ago, not more than a couple years ago, remember Jermaine Dye fractured his front leg, fouling the ball off of his leg?
This guy may want to take a pitch and hope it's called a ball. He has done some damage to himself.
I don't think he'll be sending Dan Otero a Christmas card.
This has turned into one of those Ramirez at bats.
Yeah. This will be the 12th pitch of the at bat. Oh, man. It makes you wonder, too, Rick. He's playing shortstop. And so if he can't move around, I don't know if he'll continue in this game.
Well, he's continuing this at bat.
Well, now it's just a matter. It's like stubborn wills at odds right here. Neither one will give in. And oh, man.
The crowd is into it. He's just following it off. You would think that you could put one in play.
There's a ground ball to short. He's running down the line pretty well, and then right at the very end, he kind of pulled up.
He'll be out of the game.
He was flying down the line at full speed, and then about maybe 2-3 strides before the bag, he kind of pulled up.
What an at-bat, huh? There he is. He's running hard. Now all of a sudden, oh, wait, my foot's supposed to hurt. There it is. He's limping now.
I don't think we'll see him the rest of the night.
Garcia, get loose.
Harrison Bader takes a strike.
I know one thing he won't be doing after the game, and that's dancing.
No dancing, no roller skating. Oh, a little chopper over the mound, and it's going to be an infield single for Bader. After 3 routine ground ball outs, this one chopped just over the head of Otero, and Bader is aboard. And it will be interesting to see if he's off and running here. He has 7 stolen bases. He's been caught twice.
Well, it's not a bad time. You know, you have the lead. You can afford to be a little more aggressive. You're at the bottom part of your lineup. But Danny O gets rid of the ball in a hurry.
Two 2-0 the count on Colton Wong, who had an infield hit his first time up. One high and deep to right. Goodbye.
Third home run for the Cardinals tonight. And Danny goes right at him. You have the pitcher on deck, but this one's down the middle, and Wong takes advantage of it. I mean, drives it into the bullpen. Tack on a couple more. It's an 8-2 ball game.
Now the pitcher, Carlos Martinez. Josh Tomlin now getting loose in the Cleveland pen. I guess at the end of the day, when you as a pitcher, when you throw a pitch and it ends up going in a location that you hadn't intended it to, there's not much you can do about that. But the question that you asked was, why even consider it when you've got the pitcher on deck? When you fall behind, when you're 3-0, you're already at 3-0.
Right.
Okay, you get a strike, it's 3-1. At that point, you got to think to yourself, look, he's either going to hit my pitch off the plate out of the zone, or I'm going to take my chances with the pitcher.
So that's about right. I mean, you're in a situation where you can't afford to give up any, so you don't go in there to challenge him, that's for sure.
And again, I know that wasn't his intent, but that's how it ended up. Boy, and I mean, it's just funny how this crazy game is. It looked like Otero's humming along. He got 3 ground ball outs. He gets Bader to beat one into the ground, and it just pops just over his head to where nobody can make a play on it.
Right.
And then 4 pitches later, kaboom.
Martinez is happening to stay alive as well with the foul ball.
He rolls one to short. He doesn't really want to run to first, so Lindor will just flip it over there. Colton Wong with a 2-run homer. It comes with 2 outs in the 3rd. And the 2-out homer is the story of the night for St. Louis. Bat of the night in the 3rd inning. It didn't result in anything more than a ground ball out, but he beat himself up more than anybody we've seen in a long time. Smashed one off his ankle, couple off his ribs, another one off his shin.
It was really an unbelievable, and he starts flying down the line, and then all of a sudden pulls up a little lame. I forgot I fouled a few pitches off, and there he is. I knew he'd be in there.
Greg Garcia takes over at shortstop. Munoz is in the ice tub, and he may be there for the next 48 hours. For Cleveland, down 6 here in the 4th inning. Yan Gomes will lead it off. For Mike Matheny, he's probably thinking, man, this is best case scenario to get Martinez in a game where he could just go out there and just throw. Just let it loose.
Yes.
Fly ball center field. Back is Tommy Pham, makes the catch. Let's go back to Cleveland. Here's Al Pawlowski with a game break. Yeah, I'd say that's the domination. Very definition of it.
Yes, indeed.
36-4. Thanks for coming. Tyler Naquin struck out his only time up. Right at the shortstop, Garcia scoops it up, throws him out 2 away. This series concludes tomorrow night. Shane Bieber, Jack Flaherty, the matchup. Indians Live begins our coverage at 7:30. First pitch just after 8. Swing in the Summer presented by Click It or Ticket. You can also see the game on their Fox Sports Go app. Brandon Geyer will pinch hit for Dan Otero. And the count quickly 1-2. Carlos Martinez with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, his 5th strikeout of the night. And it's 8-2 St. Louis.
By sharing a photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
(8-2) St. Louis. Bottom of the 4th inning. Top of the order for the Cardinals, and the Indians' 3rd pitcher of the night will be Josh Tomlin. 18th appearance of the year for the right-hander. He'll have Matt Carpenter, Tommy Pham, and Jose Martinez. Two-out hits with runners in scoring position and 2-out homers that result in crooked numbers are backbreakers. And tonight, 5 of the Cardinals' 8 runs have come on 2-out homers, a 3-runner and a 2-run shot.
Well, and you've got 3 guys in the lineup that have a homer and a single. Carpenter, who now just has 3 hits in the ball game. Jose Martinez, Colton Wong. So they have their hitting shoes on tonight.
Tommy Pham is 0 for 2. He steps in. Slowly tapped to Lindor, and he can't come up with it.
He just overruns the ball. He tops it. And boy, this is just going to be one of those nights. But we better wait and see, because we've seen base hits given in this series. But that has got to be an error, doesn't it?
It is. Jose Martinez ended Corey Kluber's night with a 2-out, 3-run homer into the Tribe's bullpen in the second inning.
Yeah, this is what knocks Kluber out of the game. There it was, a pitch out over the plate. 408 feet. 6 seconds that ball stayed in the air.
Tomlin going for a little rosin. That one got away from him. Josh has never been known for head hunting, or I mean, he may pitch inside, but that's not his style.
I mean, he has to pitch inside. And you know what? If it's inside, it wasn't that much in off the plate. You get guys leaning out and go over the plate. There's nothing wrong with pitches like that. They're digging in and they're swinging, so you just sometimes have to knock them out of their toe hold like
Swung
that.
out and missed. First out of the inning. Well, and you've made the comment before that because fewer and fewer pitchers can pitch inside and pitch effectively inside, hitters don't even look in there, and they're looking away. So when a guy does come inside, it almost completely surprises.
Why do you think these guys are wearing that face protection on a lot of their helmets now? Because they don't even look in there anymore, and when they do get something in there, they're surprised. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with going in whatsoever. But some hitters nowadays, they take exception to it. You gotta, you know, when you can see that a team or guys are feeling really comfortable in their batter's box, nothing wrong with knocking them out of their toe hold. That's all part of the. That's how you get outs.
Marcell Ozuna is 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the second. In the hole, base hit. They will stop Carpenter at third, and the bases are loaded. Now that one came back in the middle of the plate.
It did, and it finds the hole between short and third, so they just move up 90 feet. They again have the bases loaded and just one out. Tomlin could use a ground ball here. Got the right guy at the plate.
Molina flied to left in the first inning, grounded out to Lindor in the third. So Tomlin looking for another ground ball to Lindor if he can get one. But for Molina, an RBI opportunity. He's looking for a pitch to elevate.
Yes, he is.
Something to hit in the air to the outfield. Instead, he grounds it to third, but it's foul.
Perfect. Boy, that would have been nice. Step on third, throw to first. Just a little bit foul. Ramirez was ready for it. He knew it. It goes over the head of Carpenter there, and there's Ramirez in foul territory. Has to come back and step on the bag. Hunter Wendelstedt right on it.
Bases loaded, 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike count on Yadier Molina. And that is driven in the alley, left center. Naquin makes the catch, tagging. Everybody tags, everybody moves up. Another run is in. It's 9-2 St. Louis. Molina's 32nd RBI on the year. Greg Garcia's first at bat of the night.
Yeah, so far the Cardinals have scored in every inning. 1 in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 right here in the fourth.
Tomlin's pitch sailing high and out of the strike zone. Tomlin gets the strikeout, his second. The inning is over, but the Cardinals get another run. They lead it now 9-2. Is brought to you by the 2019 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Chevy Network dealers. Visit ClickChevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Stan the Man Musial stands guard over Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. And tonight, Carlos Martinez has been supported with 9 runs by his offense.
You would think Musial was in their lineup tonight.
Musial, Mark McGuire.
Everybody. 10 hits, 9 runs here in the first 4 innings.
Ozzie Smith, Albert Pujols, put them all in there the way they're swinging it tonight. Frankie Lindor singled and scored. The Indians jumped out to an early 2-0 lead in the top of the first. And the Cardinals have scored 9 unanswered. And what can only be described as shocking is that Corey Kluber was knocked out in the 2nd inning. His shortest start of his incredible career. An inning and 2/3, 6 runs, 6 hits. Outside, 2-2. Lindor down swinging. We go downstairs to Andre Knott.
One thing about Carlos Martinez from afar, if you watch the highlight shows, sometimes his hair is red, sometimes it's pink, sometimes it's purple, and it comes off that he can be flamboyant, and only think of himself. Well, when you look at that pink glove, it's not about him, and it's not about him being flamboyant or different. Albert Pujols, who you mentioned, has a foundation that brings kids from the Dominican Republic, or brings adults from the Dominican Republic here to St. Louis for games. And they brought a woman named Camille Fernandez here, and she was dealing with cancer, had never been to a Cardinals game her entire life. She met Carlos Martinez, and after meeting him and him learning her story, he started using the pink glove. It's a way for him to remember her and to think about her. And he also has his own foundation called the Tsunami Waves Foundation. And during that, he's helped her. And she even said that when she sees his name or hears his name, she says, I wouldn't say that hearing his name is quite like listening to the name of my Savior, but I think when I hear the name Carlos Martinez, it's like I see God's salvation through him. He's like an avenue to my well-being and my blessings. So that's the theory behind the pink glove. Not for Carlos to stand out, but for his way of saying hello, and he's thinking of Camille Fernandez.
Yeah, and that's his nickname, Tsunami.
Yeah, good story.
Seven straight retired by this Cardinals right-hander now. Rope fouled on the right side. In the air to left. Ozuna makes the catch. 8 straight retired by Carlos Martinez. And halfway through, the Cardinals up 9-2. the home half of the 5th inning. Almost an hour and a half delay at the start. And the Indians jumped out 2-0, but since then it's been all St. Louis for the second night in a row. Harrison Bader facing Josh Tomlin here, bottom of the 5th, bottom 3rd of the order for St. Louis.
Bader's the guy in the 3rd inning that
kept it alive.
Yeah, Otero had 2 quick outs. He gets an infield single, and then, like you said, 4 pitches later, there were 2 runs on the board quickly with 2 outs. It's been one of those nights. The Cardinals, everything they do is right, and everything the Indians have done is wrong.
Yeah, it's weird, and this may sound like I'm really grasping at straws for the silver lining, but really, if you look closely at this game, it's the difference of about 3 or 4 pitches. Now, yeah, it looks ugly, but when you get to 2 outs, you make a pitch, you get out of the inning, they don't score, and that's really the big difference tonight. Otherwise, this is still a competitive game. Kipnis throws out Bader. Let's take a look at our recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Jason Kipnis with a 2-out RBI single in the 1st. Made it 2-0 Cleveland. But with 2 outs in the 2nd inning, a 3-run homer by Jose Martinez made it 6-2. And with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, a 2-run homer by Colton Wong made it 8-2. You take away those 2 big swings, if you get it out there, take 5 runs off the board, all of a sudden it's a completely different situation. But
Corey Kluber just didn't have it tonight. That's the worst we've seen him pitch. Everything was upstairs in middle of the plate, and that's a rarity.
Now Carlos Martinez will bat for the 3rd time tonight. He picked up an RBI in the 2nd inning with a sacrifice fly. Grounded out to end the 3rd inning. To Ramirez. A 1-2-3 inning. The Cardinals go in order for the first time tonight. Yadier Molina, I think most consider him to be the best catcher in baseball today in terms of the total package. And his manager was not too shabby himself.
No, but when you think about it, of the last 18 Gold Gloves by catchers, the Cardinals have 12 of them, and And they're right here in the park tonight, right behind the plate, and sitting in the dugout is their manager. Buster Posey had one. Let me think. Tucker Barnhart won it last year. Russell Martin won it when he was a Dodger. And then Brad Ausmus won 3.
Yonder Alonso will lead off for the Indians here in the 6th. And Carlos Martinez deals. And it's in for a strike. Well, we mentioned it last night. St. Louis is a very proud and storied franchise in Major League Baseball. 11 times they have been world champions, often referred to as the Yankees of the National League. Yonder Alonso pops one up on the infield, and Matt Carpenter settles under it. Earlier this month, the St. Louis baseball family lost one of its most iconic members in Red Schoendienst.
Yes.
He was 95 years old. He lived a great life. He lived truly a baseball life. He spent a total of 60 years wearing the Cardinal uniform in various roles. First, obviously, as a player, then later as a coach and as a manager, and in later years as a special assistant or whatever he could do to just be around.
When we came back here in 2012 and 2006, he was in uniform and would always carry that fungo bat around. And, you know, someone very special, one of the nicest guys you would ever meet.
Tony La Russa said he was one of the most beautiful people you'd ever meet. And that's the way he said
It's
it.
like
He's
Stan
just
the Man
beautiful.
Musial. I mean, just like those guys. I mean, they were truly great men.
Loop to center. Lonnie Chisenhall bidding for another hit, and he's got one. His second of the night. His first one, similar to that, drove in a run in the first inning.
Well, this one, Tommy Pham had to come running in and just could never get there. That's a little breaking ball that he just picks up. He just didn't hit it hard enough for him to come in. He's going to slide. He was playing too deep. So Chisenhall has 2 hits, one to left center and one to right center. Pretty much the same variety.
And Jason Kipnis steps to the plate. I told this story when we were in Milwaukee. Worth repeating since we're in St. Louis tonight and talking about Red Schoendienst, because sometimes with the passing of time you forget about certain moments. And Red Schoendienst, you think of him as a Cardinal. A lot of people say he's Mr. Cardinal.
Right.
But he was traded after spending 10 years here to the Giants, who turned around and spun him to Milwaukee. And he helped lead the Braves to their first, the Milwaukee Braves to their first World Championship in 1957. And Hank Aaron, who is arguably one of the greatest players in the history of baseball, said, quote, "We don't win it without Red. He was our most valuable player."
And he was the only guy to play with Hank Aaron,
Willie Mays, and Stan Musial.
How about that for a trio?
Swing and a miss. And that's the second out of the inning. 7th strikeout for Carlos Martinez. As far as Stan the Man Musial goes, 24-time All-Star. Think he was popular?
Unbelievable. 24. That's scary. 3-time MVP. Now this is the crazy stat. How about that? 3,630 hits.
Split them down the middle.
That's 18-15 at home, 18-15 on the road. That's incredible. That was my idol when I grew up, right there, number 6.
And so for the scores of us who never got to see him play in person, what would you tell somebody that said, what was he like as a ball player?
Oh, he was just, he was great. I mean, he could play the outfield, played first base. And then that's the first Major League game I ever saw was in Pittsburgh, Old Ford Field, when he was on his farewell tour for Stan Musial Day, as they were recognizing him throughout baseball. I think it was in 3rd grade.
Was he a Ted Williams type hitter? As far
he had
as
a long stride. You know, he was a guy that, you know, his stride would be about a foot long, you know, and they used to tell you, you know, but his rhythm and his swing and left-handed batter, and he was, my dad loved him. That's why I guess I did.
All fields, spray it around, hit it everywhere.
Triples, home runs, doubles, yes, anything you wanted, you name it.
You get 3,600 hits. Yeah, you have to be a great hitter, obviously. But man, that's amazing that he had the exact same number of hits home.
24-time All-Star.
Yan Gomes is rung up looking. 8 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez. Stan the man and the Birds are flying high tonight in St. Louis. Be good.
Well, there wasn't anything offensively, but defensively, the double play turn by Frankie Lindor to Kipnis over to first base was really well done. Took a base hit away and then turned it into 2 outs. About as good as it gets right there.
The Indians did turn 2 double plays in the game last night. And Yan Gomes made a nice play in the first inning to throw out Matt Carpenter trying to go to third on a bunt. But it was just a night where they couldn't get anything going offensively, and they were shut out. Different story altogether tonight, as the Cardinals have used the home run ball. And when you talk to the local Cardinal fans, that's maybe the one knock you hear consistently, is that they offensively can be an all or nothing team because of the home run ball.
Yeah, they will swing and miss like a lot of teams do nowadays, but they have 101 home runs on the year and only 103 doubles. You know, so that's last in baseball in doubles. You would think this spacious ballpark, with hitters, you know, you can find the gap. This is a big outfield, a lot like we're going to see in Kansas City when we go there, Matt. And that's a good doubles ballpark. But, you know, they're last in all of baseball with doubles.
Oh, Willie McGee could double, triple.
Boy, he could do it. Yes, he could. He could do it all.
How about this?
He's on fire.
Matt Carpenter has a 4-hit night. And he's probably going to get at least another at bat before this one's over.
Well, speaking of doubles, and I was just telling you that, it's not because of him, because that's his 22nd double. He started out the game here with a home run to lead it off. And then let's go with a couple of singles. He scored 3 runs. And now the double, his 4th hit of the night. Down in the corner. I'll say he's heating up after starting off slowly in the month of April. 4 for 4, couple ribbies and 3 runs scored.
Ground ball to Lindor. 1 away. Tommy Pham erased.
Well, pick up a KeyBank Kids ticket starting at just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. The tickets are located in the family deck at Progressive Field, home to our expanded kids clubhouse. Kids tickets only available at Indians.com.
Jose Martinez, his 2-out 3-run homer back in the second, a key blow in this game. To Lindor again, room service hop. Goes out Martinez, 2 down. By the way, we were showing shots in the St. Louis dugout. Saw Willie McGee, and John Mabry is the Cardinals hitting coach. And that's a name I'm sure fans remember from the 90s. And most of the best years of his career were spent in a Cardinals uniform in the mid to late 90s. And he bounced around, spent some time in the American League with Seattle, Oakland. Came back here to St. Louis later in his career, finished up with the Rockies in '07. And a line drive single in the left field. Stopping at third is Carpenter, and then they just wave him right on home.
Yeah, Brantley booted the ball out there in left field. He was charging it to try and cut off the run, and then he restarted him. So I don't know if they're going to go hit in an error or they'll just give a base hit and an RBI.
Take another look at it.
It's going to be a base hit. I don't think they're going to give Brantley an error, but he wasn't going to go. Let's see. He stops and then kicks it back into gear right there.
Well, because it's St. Louis, they'll give him a base hit and a run batted in.
So Carpenter now has scored 4 times tonight.
And a ground ball to Lindor will end the inning. 6 complete, 10-2 St. Louis. Your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk and Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Well, back here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, it's pretzel time for that young man. And after 8 strikeouts and only 2 runs allowed in 6 innings of work, Carlos Martinez, his night is over. Left-handed Brett Cecil will come on to pitch for the Cardinals. It'll be Tyler Naquin and then Eric Gonzalez to bat for the pitcher, Josh Tomlin. Francisco Pena takes over behind the plate. And Yadier Molina moves to first base. Tyler Naquin swings at the first pitch, pops it sky high to center. And Tommy Pham makes the catch 1 away. It's kind of unusual, isn't it, to see the catcher move? Usually, if your night's over, you're done.
First thing I thought, you'd give him the time out before you'd give a younger player, wouldn't you? But he goes to first base. Maybe he wanted to play.
Tells you that that's more the case, that Molina wants to play, stay in the game.
Well, you would know Matheny would say, hey, I'm going to take you out. No, let me go to first base. You can.
How many years do you suppose he could maybe extend his career by if he were to say, hey, I'm not going to catch anymore, I'm going to move to first base? Not saying now, but maybe in a year or 2 or a couple. See, he's 30. He'll be 36
he's got
next
a lot
month.
of games, man, on those legs, catching. But he's still a very good catcher. I don't know if you could, cut his time and catch him fewer games and move him around maybe and play first.
I mean, nobody runs on him. That's the one thing about Molina. I think they've attempted 17 stolen bases maybe against him.
Well, he's awfully still. He's very good behind the dish.
Yeah, 17 attempts. And that's among the fewest for everyday catchers. Eric Gonzalez takes it's up high. 2-1.
Well, the pitchers also have to, buy into that too and do a job of holding the runners pretty well.
But my thinking was, as Gonzalez drives one to center, Pham will make the catch. And this is what I wanted to ask you, because I'm sure there were guys in your career. How much does reputation start to play in it for base stealers? Like, oh, that's Molina back there.
It does.
Yeah, maybe I won't run.
Think of Pudge Rodriguez back in the days. Jim Sundberg, who had a great throwing arm, and yeah, it does come into play. They can shut down a running game.
Think about Tony Pena, especially early in his career. He had a cannon for an arm. Francisco Lindor 1 for 3. What about Pudge Fisk? As far as the run game was concerned, would you see a guy you would challenge or think twice about?
Let me think about that.
Started in Boston, right? Was that?
Yeah, started in Boston, went to Chicago, and caught for years and years and years. He took a long time to, get set and call a ball game, but I mean, you didn't worry about him. I wouldn't worry about him like you would a guy that had a cannon, because if you got to jump off the pitcher, you could steal it. They had another catcher here in the 70s. That was Ted Simmons that started here in St. Louis. It was a very good catcher.
Lindor bounces one wide to third, backhanded by the shortstop Garcia. What a play! My goodness gracious. His late grandfather would be beaming with pride on that play by Greg Garcia here in the 7th inning.
couple of double switches. Oliver Perez is going to go in on the mound, and he will pitch. He'll be appearing for the 11th time, so he'll get some work tonight. So that what Terry Francona did, he went and put Gonzalez, who pinch hit for the pitcher, at shortstop and pulled Frankie Lindor out of the ball game now. So Gonzalez will go at short.
Josh Tomlin gave you 3 innings of relief work tonight. Tomlin allowed 2 runs, but neither run were earned. Ground ball towards short. New guy gets the ball. What a throw by Eric Gonzalez. Well, we were talking about the Cardinals.
Yeah, Rodriguez, look at that. 13
catchers,
of them.
Gold gloves accumulated by Molina. Johnny Bench with 10.
Yeah, and keep going down the line. Bob
Boone,
yeah,
7 in Philadelphia.
He was very good, but so was Jim Sundberg, man. When he was in Texas, I'll tell you what, he was solid. He came up and he played with Hargrove when he was over there. And the guy could throw. He was a very good catcher. I ended up playing with him in Milwaukee after that. He left Texas, so he was, you know, you get that reputation. Those guys, those pictures you just saw, those guys were outstanding at their craft behind the plate.
It's funny, Arch. I'm thinking about, you know, when I was a kid and television was really starting to explode with sports. Not like it is now, but we were starting it more than you had probably growing up. And all of a sudden, everybody knew Johnny Bench.
Oh, yeah.
You probably couldn't, most kids probably couldn't name half the catchers in baseball, but everybody knew Johnny Bench.
Big Red Machine, though, in the 70s. They dominated.
In the baseball bunch. He had the TV show.
Yeah, right.
He was marketable.
He was a personality.
Exactly.
Light tower power back in those days for a catcher.
The baseball bunch. That's how I knew who Johnny Bench was, and I'm a decade behind you. But I knew everything about Johnny Bench and wanted to be him as soon as we watched the baseball bunch, which came on once a week.
Yeah, remember he had the San Diego Chicken.
Yeah.
He'd have Ozzie Smith come on the show.
Yeah. Yes.
That really introduced the game to a whole generation of young kids.
Yeah, it was selling the game.
Yeah.
But you learned the game as well, though. He went through, they would throw balls through buckets from right field and different places and throwing the ball to second base. That was the only education you could get like that from a guy like that.
Did you ever see the picture of Johnny Bench holding 7 baseballs in one hand?
Yes.
I remember when he tried to do it on maybe Letterman or Carson. He tried to do it on the show, and it's not easy to just jam all these balls in your hand.
They got to be set. I mean, think about the size of your hands. And one guy we used to try to do it was Jim Bibby, who was a pitcher who had, huge hands. And I mean, that was incredible.
Andre, I was a fantasy camp one time, and Jim Bibby threw a ball to me. I swear to God, it looked like a ping pong ball came out of his hand.
His hands
were so big, yeah. What a nice man.
Yes, he was.
The reason I brought that up about Johnny Bench, though, Arch, is because Jim Sundberg might have gone sort of a little bit on the anonymous side for a lot of people because he was in Texas and they just didn't get a lot of TV exposure back then.
Johnny was the personality of the game. I mean, and that's what you sold. You sold the prime, the biggest name out there is what happened, and everybody just buys in. And when you play on a couple of championship teams on the Big Red Machine, that certainly helps.
2 down after the strikeout of Colton Wong, and Francisco Pena will get his first at bat of the night. Swung on and missed. 10-2 St. Louis. We're in the 7th. And Francisco Pena facing Oliver Perez. Yeah, that's a perfect pitch, and he just rung him up. Inning over. We go to the 8th. 10-2 Cardinals. Thank you, gentlemen. Greg Holland coming on to pitch for the Cardinals here in the 8th inning. Boy, it doesn't seem like it was all that long ago. This was one of the best back-end bullpen guys in baseball, especially in the American League.
Oh, yes.
When he was with the Kansas City Royals. But the old Tommy John derailed him for a while.
Yeah, he was the closer. Wade Davis, the setup man, and Herrera.
Kelvin Herrera pitched the 7th inning.
Yeah. He's now with Washington. He was just traded recently. Kelvin Herrera.
You know, I was just thinking about this because Murph jogged my memory. The conversation we had earlier tonight about the Rockies bullpen.
Right. With Davis.
Greg Holland might be the guy to blame. Because remember, they went out and gave him a 1-year deal. And if I remember right, he pitched really well.
He pitched great.
He pitched, yeah. And
until, you know, I mean, all the way through into September.
And so maybe that made them think, oh, it worked with Holland. Let's go out and get more of these guys.
Well, they didn't re-sign Holland. They wanted to spend their money elsewhere, thinking that he might have been done. But he did have a very good year for him.
Who was the other guy that its name escapes me right now, though? When you were talking about that great Kansas City bullpen, the guy who was the starter was the high pick, Luke Hochevar.
Yeah.
Remember how good he became as a setup
Tommy,
guy?
yes, Tommy John surgery. He was the #1 pick in the country for him.
Brantley goes down.
and then came back, and boy, he settled into their bullpen very well too.
In a 10-2 game, I'm sure Brantley not real appreciative of that last heave by Holland. And a ground ball, and you can see Garcia was positioned perfectly to make the play, 1 down. Let's pause right now for a word from Circle K.
Polar Pop Cup, just 79 cents every day, only at Circle K.
Jose Ramirez will step to the plate 0 for 3 tonight. Series wraps up tomorrow night. Same time, hopefully no rain delays.
Yeah, well, that means 8:35 to 8:40. No, it's supposed to be clear tomorrow night. So it says. Believe it when we see it.
Chicago must have had the same weather we had. White Sox Twins, 5-4 Chicago. They're only in the 6th inning on the south side. Ramirez rocks one to right field. Bader makes the catch, 2 down. Football season kicks off for Browns fans 1 month from today with the opening of camp in Berea. Full coverage of everything happening in Berea begins on July 26th on Training Camp Daily. On your home of the Browns, Sports Time, Ohio. And with 2 down, Yonder Alonso to the plate. And a ground ball hit the bag, and it stays fair at first. And the inning is over. Nice play by Yadier Molina. The catcher turned first baseman. And the inning is over. Carlos Martinez on the bump for St. Louis. He had been bad in his previous 5 starts, but he was good tonight. And Yonder Alonso did get a knock for the Indians. Tribe jumped out to an early 2-0 lead, but St. Louis has scored 10 unanswered. And as we go to the bottom of the 8th, top of the order, due up for the Cardinals. And George Contos is the 5th pitcher of the night for Cleveland. Rajay Davis takes over for Michael Brantley in left field. Carpenter with a drive to deep center, and it's a 5-for-5 night for Carpenter. His 2nd home run of the ball game, and he has scored 5 runs.
Well, you think he's locked in? My goodness. What a night. That doesn't happen often. 5-for-5 and 5 runs scored.
And he's
3 RBI.
8 for 9 now in the series. Look at it. These guys are like, come on, what are you doing?
Well, you rarely see something on a night like that, and they're all thrilled for him, and he's just smiling. He probably wants to hit again. You can't get this guy out. So he's got 15 now, and that's the Cardinals' 4th homer of the night.
Tommy Pham taking a strike. It's 0-2. I think everybody in that dugout's probably doing a high five, just touching him. Just give me some of that good mojo you got going.
They all, yes, they do. They want to hang around the guy that's getting all the hits. That's no question. They have 13 on the evening, and that man right there has 5 of them.
Last time Matt Carpenter had a 5-hit game, it was against an American League team. Just up the interstate, Kansas City.
Yeah, well, he may want to come play in the American League.
George Contos flips it to first, 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, there it is, his 2nd home run and hit number 5 on the night for Matt Carpenter, and it travels just about 400 feet. I'm surprised it didn't go off at 100 miles an hour. Yeah,
he just has such an unusual swing where he just kind of collapses that back shoulder.
Yeah, but he relaxes, then all of a sudden it's a lift swing. It's that uppercut, but he's everything's smooth right now.
Jed Jerko's first at bat tonight. Contos gets ahead of him 0-2. Jerko down swinging, 2 away, and our Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play of the game occurred in the 2nd inning. With 2 down tonight, there were 2 men aboard. Corey Kluber's trying to get out of the inning, and Jose Martinez almost fell down. He swung so hard, hit a 3-run homer. That was it for Kluber, and for all intents and purposes, that was it for the Indians. That made it 6-2.
Yeah, that was only in the 2nd inning.
And Marcell Ozuna, 2 for 4. haven't seen enough of Ozuna to know how closely he's patterned his game after his idol, Vladimir Guerrero. He has a long swing, Rick, but he must have a pretty good eye because he's, you know, he came in batting .287. Not like he's wildly swinging at everything.
No, he has pretty good power. Not many guys could hit like Guerrero. He could hit anything from his nose to his toes. I mean, he could hit. I did, and I'm sure you saw the one time in Baltimore, he hit a ball that bounced.
Yeah.
And got a base hit on it. He was a great bat ball hitter.
Slow down with that, Ricky. There's a guy with this same name that's coming, that's only 19, that's ripping the ball up for Toronto's AA team, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
I know, but isn't he on the DL?
He may have just gone on, but I know he's been killing AA. He's on
yes, he was. They were going to call him up, I think, Andre,
right.
And then he got hurt.
But he swings it just like him.
I'd love to see it.
We'll go to the ninth. It's 11-2 St. Louis. Matt Carpenter night. He's 5 for 5 with 2 homers, 3 ribbies, and 5 runs scored. The Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. 11-2 St. Louis. And here in the ninth inning, the Cardinals go back to the bullpen, and their fourth pitcher of the night is Mike Myers. 21st appearance of the year, 2-0, a 3 ERA. 24 innings, he's punched out 23, walked just 6.
Well, he's been that guy that has been on the elevator up and down 6 times from Memphis to the big leagues. Jerko remains in the game at third base.
Mike Myers is an Ohio boy, grew up in Grove City. And then, how crazy is this? I wonder how many guys from Ohio have been offered, let alone accepted, scholarships to the University of Mississippi for baseball. You figure a school like that in the South, they stay right there in their backyard and pluck all the baseball players they can find.
Usually, yeah.
To go to Ohio, where we can only play so many months out of the year, that's pretty cool that they found them. Multi-sport star in high school at Grove City. He's also a quarterback, helped his team make the playoffs, played hoops, but baseball, that was his love. All-state Ohioan back in 2010. Cardinals made him their third-round pick. 5 years ago out of the University of Mississippi.
Yeah, that is a little distance covering. Unless somebody caught his eye and whoever was coaching or recruiting down there had a good tip.
Yeah, who knows? Might have been a summer camp, sort of summer tournament somehow.
Yeah, it's weird. You know how the word travels in the baseball business.
Now the 1-2. Breaking ball missed outside. Lonnie Chisnall has 2 of the Indians' 6 hits tonight. And both of them almost mirror images, if you will. The first one was a high bloop RBI single to left center. And then in the 6th inning, he did the same thing, but it was more toward right center field. Just kind of a high arching, didn't hit it hard particularly, but perfectly placed. And that's going to slice out of play. Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming up. Hits that hard over near the line and caught by Ozuna, 1 away. Our cricket, something to smile about. Watch the concentration that Andre Knott possesses with Terry Francona lobbing wads of bubble gum at him. Maintains his focus, and then Tito making sure that this one sticks. Plants it on his head.
It was worse watching than actually happening.
Yeah, well, because you didn't have eyes behind you in the back of your head.
The worst part is the first one didn't even surprise me. I'm just used to it.
You knew when you're that close, something like that is going to happen.
Well, the secret's out. Tito throws one of those at me before every game. Just we had cameras on him this time, so he's busted.
Yeah, maybe they'll fine him.
No, did you see the other coaches laughing in the back?
Oh, absolutely. Look at.
I'm gonna try to find Millsy's.
That's too much time on their hands.
I'm gonna try to find Millsy's jersey tomorrow and see if he does it then.
You might, if you wear that, you might take the lineup card out.
After tonight, he might make me.
Yes,
right?
that's right. Just put the jersey on.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
No, I think my man Barney will be allowed back out here. I don't think he was out there. Did you notice that? They didn't let him out here tonight.
I haven't seen him all day.
Banished. The 1-2. Kipnis with a fly ball to left, almost a carbon copy of the one Lonnie hit, 2 down. Well, before this series, the Indians had been 15-8 all time against the Cardinals in interleague play, but they're about to watch that record drop to 15-10 as St. Louis will have a chance to sweep the 3-game series tomorrow night. And the Indians will turn to rookie Shane Bieber in the hopes of pitching them to a victory tomorrow night to salvage the finale. Tried to hold up, and he went around. It's 0-2. Struck him out looking, and the ball game is over. The Cardinals hammer the Indians tonight by a final score of 11-2. Winning pitcher Carlos Martinez, he goes to 4-4 on the year. The loss to Corey Kluber, he's 11-4. With a win, St. Louis is now 42-36. The Cardinals have won 4 in a row. And the Indians, after their 7-game winning streak, have now dropped back-to-back contests and are 43-35 on the season.